Dumelang sanibonane Thobela lebitso la ka ke Lalas Kholo aka Motsoko Vandala sa tsore gone ke tlhaba ka mafoko ke tlhaba ka mabomo o sho tlhekele poloko. I'm not alone as always. I'm with
MySunflower, and welcome to the 4th episode of Kasi Uncover. And today we have a very interesting guest.
Quiet, daman. We daman quiet.
How quiet? Or reserved. Like there's a difference between being quiet and just like.
That's what I
So today we have a very interesting guest. This man that you see right here, he's a fellow podcaster. And tell you what, I know you didn't know this, but he's also one of the people that inspired us to be right here. And also I remember I went to his podcast and I said there that, you know what, I'm gonna start a podcast.
And now you can't comfortable interviewing your podcast.
What do you mean?
Why not? Because now, do you see what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Camera. Look at the camera. Hey, you feel like I have to be like the day I was there, go podcast. Yeah, we had to have like the picture here and go like, not this one. This one is good. This one is. What did you have to know? Maybe but how's you, man? How's
I'm
Sam?
good. I'm good.
And welcome to the Kasi Uncover.
But it's a bit weird that I'm normally on the other side asking questions, but today I'm on the other side answering questions.
And guess what?
So I don't know how it's gonna go, but yeah.
Double. Like today is just it's not only one person but two. So left and right.
And
there's nowhere to run, hey? Yeah, no man. This is Sam, and Sam, please tell us who is Sam.
Should I introduce myself?
Yeah.
Should I introduce myself?
Yeah, you should.
Okay, my name is Samuel at Samuel Soul. I'm a content creator. I do have a podcast. Yeah, that's
I wanna know
about it. Yeah.
I wanna know about the content creator.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just tell me, content creator.
What do you want to know?
What do you want to know?
He's a podcaster. He said I'm also a content creator. Are you merging it as one thing, or you have another project you're doing aside that deals with certain content?
I do have a couple of projects that I'm doing at the moment, which is some of them I won't mention now. That's still in the pipeline. You know the pipeline. But yeah, I would say that there's other things that I'm doing beside the podcast.
Wow, that's amazing.
The podcast is just an umbrella. Then there's other things within that umbrella.
I know you, but I believe that Lee knows you a little bit much better. She spent a lot of time around the area that you work at, I think. Do you also know each other from Kasi?
I think not really. I mean, the first time I met Sam was the day I had went for the shoot. Like before then, I didn't know him, and then through a friend. I think that was Diepsloot, ne?
He's actually a business partner. He's actually my business partner.
Oh, he's a business partner.
Yeah, let's just clarify that he's my business partner.
Okay. Because also, and guess what? I had met Diepsloot at your EP launch. Remember?
Yeah.
Yes, and then through that, oh my goodness, it's so small.
The world is actually small, especially the north side. It's small. Everybody knows everybody.
And the fact that someone that you meet is gonna connect you to something. I mean, imagine if you hadn't invited me to your EP and I hadn't met Diepsloot. It means I wouldn't know him.
Yes. Yeah. And then both of us been to his. And do you know? Have you noticed that's what happens with the guests that we have? That somehow we've done something with what they do.
Exactly.
Visited them So that shows that in Diepsloot there's a whole lot of potential.
Exactly.
Right, in Diepsloot, I don't want to lie. Not just Diepsloot only, but okay, we're talking about Diepsloot.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of talent here. There's a whole lot of talent. Just that there's a certain group that we always push. Forgetting there's other people that we can just actually, like if we decide now and go to the mall, you can find about 5 or 6 vocalists. You go where you can find like 10 producers. But because we focus on the certain individuals, you know, we intend not to know other people. Because Diepsloot around like there's too many people with talent, bro. And there's a lot of beautiful stories to tell around here.
Yeah.
Why is it that you think they focus on same people over and over again? Is it because they are more outstanding, or they are the ones that are pushing harder, or it's because people like exploiting people?
Well, I'll start by saying that mostly the people that they're busy pushing, it's people with numbers.
Okay.
Most of them, I don't want to lie, we can't say, yes, some of them they're talented, but some of them they just are, you know, they're not as talented as other people. But because of connections also. Yeah. Just because of I know Lalas, I know MySunflower, I know who and who, that's how I'm connected. Doesn't matter if I'm not talented, they just plug me. You know, that's just how it is.
Yeah.
No, it makes you say.
It really does. And also, before we get too deep into this whole North industry, because I think this is the man that has a lot to say about all of that.
I do.
And I know you do. And guess what? We are flexible. I think we had this a lot today, that here we are flexible, we have all the time. And before we get into that, MSM, I would like us to unpack a little bit about you as an individual. Please just give us a brief of your background, like your upbringing. Are you someone that grew up here in Diepsloot, or you just came in after have graduated at school, or like how was your upbringing like?
I actually grew up around Diepsloot, so I know Diepsloot in and out. If I may put it that way.
You know? Where were you born?
I was born in Limpopo, in Zanin.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Nah.
But then we moved to Diepsloot. I think I moved here, it was 2002.
Yeah.
That's where before a lot of things started happening, you know, Diepsloot was just that place where it's like, you know, it's still new and it's far from everything. Because we're just in between PTA and Joburg. So it was quite interesting, you know. It was very interesting growing up in Diepsloot. You know, it's just you know, the environment, the setup, you know, getting to experience new things, you know. But the thing that I would say is that at the time, there were like lack of resources. For you to actually get access to certain things, it was a mission. But now it's getting there. It's getting there. You know,
bit by bit.
Yeah, it's getting exposed. We're having a lot of places that are actually bringing people in Diepsloot, and they get to know about Diepsloot.
Yeah.
I have a question, which might made up for the day. So you say that it was before a lot of things were implemented, a lot of projects, a lot of that. Did we have a radio in Diepsloot by then?
At the time, there was no radio. There was no Diepsloot radio.
When was it implemented? If you remember, around 20 something, or was it that time around 2000?
It was 20 something.
20 something.
You mean which one? Diepsloot Radio or Sloot FM?
Both of them actually. Which one came first?
Diepsloot Radio came first.
And then
is it
the one that is online?
Yeah, the online radio station, it came first.
And then the frequency came after.
Sloot FM came after.
Don't you think
Still a baby, Sloot FM.
So don't you think the Diepsloot Radio could, if it would have gone for frequency than being online, it would have been the biggest thing by now?
I think it was gonna be actually the only radio. If it went for the FM frequency. It was just gonna be the only radio. Because I don't think once
FM wouldn't come.
The name Diepsloot FM is just represent what Diepsloot is.
You know?
So the moment you're gonna have another radio that's gonna be Diepsloot, yes, they will compete. But I think if Diepsloot Radio established at the time before Sloot FM,
and also, I mean, let's remember that having a community radio is a way of uniting the community. So we can't be having two frequencies at one community. I mean, we only
they say competition is healthy.
It's healthy.
No, but we are trying to unite.
One will be community,
the
one
community.
will be commercial.
No. We are uniting,
they were
guys.
both gonna start as community radio stations.
Here's the thing: we are united. You can't tell me that the competition is healthy when Diepsloot is can, like, you're telling me that Diepsloot should have more than one radio station so that it can have have competition.
Not only competition.
How are you uniting the people of Diepsloot?
It was gonna have two purposes. We need them.
Which
Let me
is?
show you how.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, one would be commercial, one would be community.
Mm-hmm.
The one that is community would be responsible for your public service announcement. It would be, for all the local information, the local news and all that. But then the commercial one would focus on the business side of things.
And the entertainment.
And the entertainment as well. Artists would get paid for being played on the one that is commercial.
Mm-hmm.
Hence they were not paid for being played on the one that was just a community radio.
Mm-hmm.
The clothing brands would go and pay the radio stations for advertisement, and then
Which clothing brands?
we have as many in Diepsloot.
Looks like you want to say
No.
something.
Yeah, well,
Don't we?
yeah, we do have them.
Ah.
It's the part where you talk about payments.
Yeah. Oh,
kinda
they
get
can't afford.
confused,
Oh,
It's not a matter of affording.
mhm.
It's just a matter of not, wanting to pay. That's
Oh,
the problem.
No.
I think also. Sorry, you can go.
No, we do have a lot of, brands, clothing brands, a whole lot of brands.
Yeah, a lot.
Mhm.
But the main problem is having to pay, because it's just that part where people just feel like, nah, paying is another thing. They rather pay you with t-shirts,
Yeah.
that's somehow,
Oh.
which is it doesn't really make a good business sense, but that's what they, But for somebody else, it can make a business sense.
Nay?
Yeah.
I think, please remind me, we're going to come back to this question of, have you, as the podcaster in Diepsloot, I think you were the only one before us, Nick. There's no any other podcast that I
There
know
was
of.
actually another podcast.
What
Before
happened
you.
to it? Before you?
Before me, yeah, there
Uh-huh.
was. It's just that, I don't know what happened to it.
Oh no, there is actually. It's the audio only. I think the one by it's Pamandla.
That was actually when you mentioned Spamanda, that was the second one.
Oh.
Spamanda did have the audio one, which was doing numbers. He was pushing it.
Oh yeah.
It was pretty dope.
Uh-huh.
There was another one.
By?
Just that I don't want to mention the
okay.
name of the podcast, but I feel like at this point, yes, I might say it's not that I'm cocky or what, but I feel like mine now at this point is the biggest so far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the one we know. That's why
Yeah.
Lindelan was
Yeah.
asking.
Yeah.
But I think it's just based on the fact that it's the only podcast that it's actually like consistent.
Oh,
Yeah.
and that matters as well. It really does.
And the type of guests that I bring,
Yeah.
just bring ordinary people in the hood. I don't just take those that are like okay, is a DJ way, I just take people that I feel like they have stories to tell. Those stories that motivate, inspires. Not just someone who's just going to tell us about random things that produce and build us.
Yeah.
That's the description.
And also I think that was we're gonna come to that question of what are the requirements that you use to like pick from to have your guest, but then you've already answered that in a nutshell.
Yeah, well I did, but yeah.
Yeah.
But also the other thing that I also check, I do a bit of background check and I check what you've done for the community. If you impacted the community in a positive way, because there's people who do things. There are others who impact the community in a negative way.
100%.
So I check those who actually do things that inspires. Because if you could check some of the guests that I have, I want that kid who's sitting there, probably next station one, to know that it's possible. There are people that from here that have done it. That's why I would call the other time I had this doctor, and she was from here.
Yes,
Level up. So that's those stories that I tell. I want people to actually, because we can't keep on talking bad things about Diepsloot. Like it's tiring.
Yeah.
Then yes, there is like to each and every place. There's always the bad side, and there's a good side. So my focus is more on the good side. I don't care about the bad side.
Because the best side, you already found it written and nobody was interested in writing the good side.
Yeah.
That's, and right now wabona thina sekumalala kucuba mina noli thina sifuna bed and sibahle ngapha sibabi ngapha.
That's just how it is.
And also I think you guys made me derive from the question that I wanted to ask. And initially I remember I told you guys to remind me that I was gonna ask you if there are brands that approached you to work with your podcast, maybe in terms of advertisement, but we're gonna get into that before we get
you want
into
me to
it.
answer that?
No, not now. Not now. We will come back to it. Please remind me.
I hope we don't forget.
I hope we don't, because I have two people that talk for days, guys.
Yeah, for real.
And also, I want us to just revert back, to like just take us back to before podcast with Samuel Soul was born. I'm pronouncing it correctly.
Yeah.
Podcast with Samuel Soul was born. Before the birth of the podcast with Samuel Soul, take us through, what were you doing?
I was actually, it's funny because at the time before the podcast, I was actually doing music, but mostly writing. I was more into the writing side of the music. Well, yeah, that's what I was doing, and also
Writing
for who?
You want me to mention names?
Name and shame.
Nah, I wouldn't name and shame, but
Okay.
I do
But you name
songwriting. That's what I. I'm not gonna name anybody, it's gonna discredit
It's
me.
fine.
But I also did music over here and there, dropped a couple of music, songs.
Let's go straight.
Personally, I also dropped music,
Oh,
Like,
what kind? What genre?
It was hip hop. It was
Oh.
alternative hip hop.
That's why you call
more
a
poetic,
lot of rappers into your podcast.
Not really. It happened quite. It's like I don't really. Some I don't even know the rappers. I just know them. They're making music. The moment they hear, I'm like, my guy, you're a rap also.
Yeah.
And then
Wow.
Yeah.
So what inspired you to start the podcast, and also how did the idea come about?
well, the idea came about. It was 2018. That's when I was like. Because that's when I started seeing people like Joe Rogan, that podcast, Joe Biden, they had like, those podcasts were getting big at the time. And I was like, looked in at the SA market and see, there's
So
nothing.
you're not one of those who were inspired by Mac G? Because it seems like after Mac G, everybody just ran into it. Let me do it.
Not really, not really. I was inspired by people like Joe Rogan. Well, 2019, that's when McG started his podcast,
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's why he started his podcast. And with me, I was like, I'll start. And at that time, I was having, it was just a group of us. I think we were 6 or 7. The number decreased to 3. Then, you know how it is when you guys have different visions when it comes to a certain thing. Then, yeah, 2019, you know how 9 to 5, how sometimes it's just gonna
it's going to.
it's just gonna make you forget about the other things, and focus on it. Then but then COVID happened, it hits, and that's when I was like, I think my thing was that I didn't have enough time to actually sit down and plan and start shooting. But the moment I started having time, that's when I started shooting. The main reason why I started my podcast, that's what you want to know also. I've seen how local, let me just make an example with local thing. I've seen that each and every show that comes on TV, it's the very same people. They keep on telling us the same story, the same lies. Mostly they just keep,
same lies.
It's just the same lies, just a different night,
Yeah.
So we keep on hearing the same stories from same people.
Yeah.
And I looked around guys, I'm like, but we have people that have like proper stories, stories that can inspire other kids. That's my thing. I was like, people that I know that those big podcasts. I'm not gonna mention names. But that's what it is, because they don't have following, but they do have stories, stories that can motivate, that can inspire. So my thing was like, okay, let me just go for those people that I know. They're not that big. They're not gonna get to that platform. Let me just spread this positivity. That what actually made me decide, okay, this is the path that I want to take, and these are the type of people that I want to call on the podcast or what.
Makes sense.
You were inspired to start your podcast, looking at how everything was like us being told the same thing over and over again, and you wanting to bring a different perspective. And actually, it's an amazing thing, because it's by Kasi, for the people. You understand? You get where I'm going.
But also, I wanted to clarify something. A podcast with soul, it's not a podcast for Diepsloot. It's for podcast. It's actually for everybody. Anyone from anywhere. Anyway, it could be in Namibia, wherever in the world. Because I've seen a lot of people thinking that it's a podcast for Diepsloot fan. No, it's not that. It's not that. We're not gatekeeping anything. If somebody comes from wherever, analyst story, so feel out shit. I want to tell this story. I want to motivate people. They can just hit me up,
And
then we set it up and we chop it up. That's
that
how
is
it goes.
amazing. That's amazing.
Yeah, I have 2 questions, but I'll start with this one. Are you, what's your target in terms of your guests? What are mainly the people that you mainly focus? What type of stories are you to get? Like you aiming to get? Are you focused on artists, the entertainment industry, or you just cover everything as long as it's a success story?
I just cover everything as long as it's a success story. From creatives, from creatives to your business people, anything I just cover as long as it's a successful story.
What's the story that you've had and it touched you more?
Hey bro, that one, bro. There's a couple of stories, man. Should I mention which stories?
Yes.
Yeah, and on my podcast, there's a couple of stories, man. The one that I had Dr. Kamokhelo, it really touched me. The one that I had also Pushamzala did touch me. Actually, let me just say all of them, man. Like,
so we
all of them. Let me just say all my episodes, man. The stories that they touch you, like they really touch you.
So we going to check on their YouTube, right?
Okay.
Yeah. As much as we are podcast, but we are interviewing a podcaster, there's nothing wrong with promoting your podcast. So we're going to check the stories are Pushamzala and
actually they could just check everything, man. They should just go through the
this is
timeline, man.
podcast with Samuel.
Nah, it's podcast with Soul.
Oh,
Yeah.
podcast with Soul.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
and we are Kasian Kav.
No man, like while we're still here on the stories that touched you,
I'm
Nick,
covering the
please tell us about your one of the highlights of in your podcast. And when I'm saying one of the highlights, I'm talking about what's your favorite episode, and in terms of it could be maybe how the guest was interacting with you. Like what was your favorite guest, or I don't know, episode?
And Oscar a couple of
And
them,
also-
Oscar all of them.
Exactly. and also with the favorite name, you can give us 2 names, and with you have to give us the most favorite and the least favorite. And you have to give us reasons why.
Actually, that's a very tough question. But to be honest, I just enjoy listening to stories. So I wouldn't be able to choose which episode I feel like this was like my favorite, you know, because what about different stories, you know, and all of those stories are so inspiring. They inspire. They inspire, right? So me having to choose, I think it's gonna be a bit unfair, you know, because those stories are different and they touch me differently.
Hence
But
I
it's
said.
not hip-hop.
Hence
People
I
don't
said.
We say who's the workers.
Exactly.
But we want to know.
Nah,
but
man.
do you go back and watch your interviews
I
on your YouTube?
I actually do go back
Then-
and start from the beginning with the first episode.
What was your
Which
favorite?
one do you keep on repeating?
I repeat all of them. I go back and start with.
Same way.
I mean, here's the thing, right?
But
Here's the thing, Lalas.
Okay.
I mean, okay, you can go.
I'll do
I
what?
hope you wanna answer us.
No, I'm trying to think because I have so many episodes.
Why are you still thinking? Let me say this, Lalas. You know, when I was still at when I was doing the show at Sluder Family,
Yeah.
I mean, I would have a lot of people coming over for interviews, right?
Yeah.
And I can tell you from the glimpse of my mind who's the guest that I had, and I had a good time, and who I was not make sure. I was like, after this, I'm like, hi, and it's always those ones that you have high expectations. When you read the bio, you're like,
when they get there.
can't they? When they come, you're like,
I have invited.
That's why I'm no longer asking people to send their biography and stuff. I do my own research.
Yeah.
Because you know, it's the same as a CV. It will be well written, and the person who comes there for an interview, hey.
exactly. And also, let's be honest. I mean, sometimes it's my duty as an interviewer to make sure that this interviewee brings out the best out of them. I mean, probably there were times where I was the weakest interviewer.
Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, exactly. Sam,
sometimes. So you just
again,
you don't really connect well with your guest. You know, it
Yeah.
does happen that one.
So back to our question.
or
Sam.
you really feel like you're not asking them what you were supposed to ask them.
You know,
can feel
okay. With the, you guys said what the West episode that I shot.
Let's start.
I didn't upload those. I did shoot a couple of episodes that I
okay.
felt that these are just West episodes,
And
but
you
I didn't
didn't
upload them.
And I
'cause
didn't
I-
mention-
If you see
Nah, I
your
don't-
episode
nah, I
not
don't wanna do
uploaded,
You already know.
But no, but some of them they understand. You might have it's a technical error, I mean, where it's like the sound was not good or what.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't say like, but yeah, those I feel like those are the worst episodes
Oh,
because of that.
your best.
You know, with the question like your best, like I enjoy every shoot. Every shoot that
I really
like,
the one you enjoy.
I mean,
Like
let's say.
even now, if you could pull out my phone and check my YouTube, what I watch mostly, you see that it's all of my episodes that I watch. I just sit down.
I
I'm
think,
okay,
man, the
let me watch
favorite-
There
it.
has to be, and why
There
not?
must be a favorite.
There
I'm not
must
thinking-
be. There must
There
be.
must be. Just like your
Really?
outfit, you know, or if you're wearing away.
Okay, you
Okay,
when you as an artist, do you have a favorite song from your album?
Yeah. Guess what?
Which-
My favorite song is always the latest. If I go record another song and it's
Yeah.
a hit,
Yeah.
forget about Khuma Mushad.
So right now, Mujolo is the one for you.
No, right now Khuma Mushad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's contentful and character content.
I think
And
also,
it's super
also
quality.
even with me, it goes like that. You know, the latest episode is my favorite episode until I drop another episode. So
And then
I
you're
just
like,
put it that way. But
What's your latest episode?
I just dropped. I think day before yesterday, I dropped another episode. It was with the fitness trainer.
Yeah.
Bodybuilder. Yeah, I had
Did you love the
Jacob
one with?
Leslie.
Did you love the one with fitness and what?
Yeah, it was.
You know, I feel like
That was
it's-
my latest episode that I dropped, and which is I feel like he was sharing enough information, you know, because in the bodybuilding world, there are always these stories. People will lie, man. Tell you that I'm not drinking anything, I'm not drinking any supplements. They will just lie, but he was just
Honest about it.
just breaking down the information, what to get, what not to get, what to do, you know.
I think that's one of those we gotta go check.
Yeah, 100%. I
But
actually
if you
saw
guys should just go through the timeline, and it's like dope.
You know,
Like,
you
dope
know what I
episodes.
do when I go to somewhere, I check mine.
Then I always check mine shape. I don't wanna like my favorite episodes from yours. Yeah,
It's yours.
You
it's
can't-
mine.
is not my favorite,
And you know,
but it's the one I check the most.
But
because-
how is it not your favorite?
It's not my favorite because I feel like the information I wanted to share I didn't share. You understand? Yeah.
Also, you were holding back.
And not
So he
me
was holding
only.
back.
Yeah, and Nasa, one of the questions didn't I expect from the podcast, he wasn't asking them, but unfortunately I can say, man, why don't you ask?
You should have shared. You should have shared.
No,
Yeah,
in
you
the
should have
moment I was not there. You understand? I remember when I should.
No, it wasn't a
But
cloud.
I should
It
have
was
tell.
just- it was in a cloud.
Yeah, I should have told this guy that and that.
Makes sense.
And I didn't. Do you
Nah.
understand?
I think with the episode that I shot at Semne, it was the first time I listened to myself and I didn't cringe. You know, every time when I went for a show, the 3-hour show, after that I would listen and I'm like, I shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
But with the episodes, I watched and I'm like, oh,
I
actually,
loved the one by.
something.
I think I loved the one by Boza the Ghost and the one by DJ Maxwell.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah,
DJ
DJ
Mixo,
Mixo.
yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah, it was also very interesting. You know, one thing that a lot of people don't know about Megzo. Megzo is for the culture, man. Like he's doing a lot for the hip hop this side. He's doing a lot. It's just that one thing about Megzo, he doesn't like talking too much. You know, he put in the work. Because if you could check, man, bruh, he's the reason why we having hip hop session.
Yeah.
Back for High Lodge.
How about I support Ibatu? And I understand, bruh. Yes, maybe just like everyone in Diepsloot who says, I don't want to associate with politicians because this is what they do. Sometimes they take over. Sometimes they set you if you don't do their things. But I feel like he needs some powerful people behind him just to give him, you know, especially Pella, everyone has a business idea, let's be honest. But not everyone is going to get the space. They would rather choose to, the person, your neighbor, if you say, I want to, can you go register magwinya mangwe a zanka ba hona a butterfly wa go batho ba rekisa mo gate ya o tor no mara who tell my friend from wherever or yes we have this thing. I feel like people don't appreciate what Mexo is doing. They can't give him the platform because he's from Diepsloot, but the very same platform they would give it to somebody from somewhere else.
And,
The sale.
And actually, shout out to Mexo, man, for putting in the work, man. Like, he's putting in so much, bro. Like, he's invested so much in the hip hop scene in Diepsloot, you know. And I just wish everybody was supporting him, like how they support other things, you know.
Yeah.
And back to you, Sam. You literally lived your whole life here in Diepsloot, like literally, like, because you grew up here. Well, not really, but half. Let me say half of it. Yeah, half of it, and also you're into adulthood. I mean, you remember most of the memories from here. I mean, yeah, 2002 up to now. Is it 2002, 2004?
Yeah, 2002.
Yeah, you see. So, the question that I want to ask you is, from you staying here, I mean, you still here, and you get to interact with a lot of young people, you know, our peers who are working out there, and I'm sure you get to see, because I mean, you are one of the people that are in the ground, on the ground, day by day, seeing what's happening in Kokasi, you understand? So, you know, every time when we have a chat with an old person, or let me just say, we had a chat with one of our leaders, and they told us, as the youth of Diepsloot, we are not as involved as we should be into things that actually affect us here in our community. Do you think that perspective is true? And also, from what you've seen the young people doing here, would you say that, yeah, really, they don't want to get involved? Like, what's your perspective on that?
Nah, first of all, that's a cap. Nah, that's a cap. That's a lie. The youth in Diepsloot, they want to get involved so bad, right? But the problem is that these old people, the old generation that are power to power on gas, they gatekeep everything.
Yeah.
They gatekeep everything. And also, I had somebody at house this day, which is I don't know if it's true or what, but I think it's true. And there's equipment by the station 2, the whole cameras, like equipment for shooting.
Yeah.
But you know about it, right?
Yeah,
I'm sure it's true. So he's like, nobody has access to those things besides those old Madalas Pamukas or Tunikas.
Wow.
So I wouldn't say the youth is not involved. The youth is involved. They always gatekeep them up. Like, they just keep them up. Because if those equipment, for instance, if they would actually like give to those kids, not give them, borrow them. We have so many filmmakers around the world.
And facilitate.
Yeah, man, we would have amazing. You know, with the stories of Diepsloot on its own, you can make a film.
Yeah.
Big
100%.
one.
So I disagree with that. Disagree with whoever said they doesn't want to get involved. They do want to get involved, but they're not given opportunities.
Now, remember I told you about the Deep City that there was a group created. You understand? We were in a group who were many, the people who wanted to be involved in the project. But at the end, we were not.
And it was only few people because of the no Spanban. Spanban was like, nah, this is my boy. He should pull through.
The systems are all over the industry.
So since it's like this, what do you think we need to do as the youth of Diepsloot?
As a youth of Diepsloot, I think we should actually go and vote, you know. Vote them out. Get the young
Go
leaders.
and vote.
That's simple like that. They should just go and vote.
Did you register to vote?
Yeah, I did.
Have you ever encountered someone in Diepsloot who's young, who doesn't want to go register to vote?
Yeah, there's a lot of
almost everybody.
And what's your take on that? I feel like that's
some they do explain why they feel like it's pointless for them to vote. Because still, they're going to vote and nothing changes. You know? That's their problem. Main issue why they don't want to go and vote because of that. Because but it makes sense, also doesn't make sense. Because they say, yeah, voters, what's the point? Because if it's a voter, nothing changes. We're still staying. You know, the very same leaders that are supposed to come and be like, what assisted, they only come to the election. Now, starting now, they will see Mutaloko getting one knock. I can't help so that they move vote.
That is true.
But as soon as Atola vote, the very same person will never come and check that Magogo or Magogo Lo Shapona. You know.
And another thing, I think there's also a stigma. Scams everywhere. I believe so many young people now might be thinking or now that the votes are just fixed, you know.
They are.
Yeah.
They are.
See, another one says
no,
they are.
They are. Most countries they do that. And with our South African system, how corrupt the system is.
Yo, corruption, there's no way.
So that's why I'm saying there's possibilities that it's happening. Because we just, everywhere is corrupt.
Yeah.
So and also like they just keep on voting for the same people. We need to explain it doesn't belong to any political party. Government it's not the political party. I think if we educate them on that, it will make difference. They will understand and vote for the right cause. Because at this point we keep on, it's like we're moving in cycles.
Which one is the right political party?
At this point, no, there's none.
So what are you voting for?
Even the ones that you don't know.
I think the smaller parties, you just at this point, what I'm actually hoping for is that over the collision of governments. I think that's going to be much better, because if one party is not doing fine, but vote out that person and put another person from a different party.
Yeah, maybe 2-3 parties if they combine together and take out the one big useless one.
Exactly, because once we have one person, the way I feel because another one.
Back to the podcast. So tell us, when you started the podcast, right? Surely there was a lot of things that we said, good, bad, about you having to start. Tell us, just give us a glimpse of that, and tell us how you get to keep on going, even though people said what they said, good or bad.
Yeah, there were a lot of people who said a lot of things that and some of the people close to me. I remember this one time, this other one was like, bro, in Diepsloot, an artist is struggling to reach 100 views in 5 months. How are you gonna do that? Then me, I was like, nah, bro, just watch and learn. And on my first episode, I did numbers. Then I went on. People are still gonna talk. The most important thing is that
I wonder which artists are struggling. Diepsloot artists are actually doing well on YouTube.
Well, somebody said
I know.
100 views in 5 months. So I didn't even want to entertain the story, because now I knew what I wanted to do and my plan. But what they will keep on saying a whole lot of things, and there's this group of people, that are just gonna go online, just like now you're gonna drop this episode. They're gonna go online. They're not watching because they wanna watch, because they're supporting you. They wanna check it out, and but wanna do small, minor things.
Those
type of things. Setting. So there are people that to go so now they're on the side, and those are haters. Let's put it in a simple. They hate us because they're looking for negative things. You could drop an episode, for example, I drop good episode. I do have a lot of good episodes that are clean and all that. But the moment I'm gonna drop an episode, maybe the sound there or playing on the side, then that person is gonna come. Hey, why was I editor out that auto play? Like, wow. Where were you for the past 6 months when I was dropping episodes? So there's always that sense how they support you, they want you to grow. They're watching in that thing because they failed. Let me put it that way. They failed to live their dreams. So now it's that thing they want to project their fears on you. They want to tell you things like, "Hi, Mara, why don't you get a bigger camera? Why don't you interview Mandela?" Like, it's impossible.
Exactly.
So me, one thing that motivates me, I know what I want to achieve, and also the guests are it's one of the people that keep on pushing me. Even the people that watch, I appreciate that. I appreciate them a lot, because they keep on, every day. And I would say that sometimes, yes, there are people that our friends don't support our businesses and all that. Yeah, I always find it cringy, because sometimes the thing is, you might be doing something that it doesn't align with your friend. Right?
Yeah.
So you can't force him to come and watch my podcast when he likes watching mixed martial art, you know. So with me, like I believe also in that thing, like you just need to push. Forget about what people manga support the manga about you know. Because if that's the case, then you're not gonna it don't grow.
Yeah.
100%.
The first thing is just to start. You know, it reminds me of when I uploaded Huma Mushade on I think I uploaded it in February, and I said the song releasing on the 31st of April. And I boosted the song on Instagram. The first person to comment was referring to the date. Like I said, the 31 April, and the song is being. I'm posting the promo in February. He said, so you're gonna take that long just to release such a crap song.
That's what I was saying.
And what I did was just to block the person.
Level the positive. Oh, this song is nice. To level out the dates.
So someone said to me on Twitter, he said, when I posted, there was I forgot the lady, but she posted a lot on, she's one of the influencers from Twitter. And she said that I am 28 years and I haven't done anything what in life. And then I also mentioned my age, and I said, I think I was 28 as well, because it's not last year, probably last year. I said, I'm 28 years and I have only one monthly listener on my Spotify. And then some people, you know, they react, they laugh, they send emojis laughing. And then there's this one says, yeah, it means you are work and you are too old for you to keep on doing music, so you must get a job. And then I mentioned that I work 2 jobs. I work for retail. I work retail. I'm a security guard as well. I work for a charity organization. I operate in all the schools in my area. I am selling art. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm selling merchandise. I'm an artist. So my song is not getting, because I'm new on Spotify and maybe people don't know about my song. And this other lady went on Spotify, listened to the song, came back with a screenshot and said, I listened and I encouraged more of my friends to listen to your music. Your music is actually dope. I don't know why this person is negative. By the end of that day, I was in Midrand attending my classes. By the end of that day, I was on 1,000 plays.
That's pretty dope, man. That's pretty dope.
And Kimakala Mutuan sent a screenshot. The guy called Tim CD, shout out to him. He's always been supporting me, but he likes giving me advices. Anyway, advice. So he said to me, he said, Lalas, did you see your views? And I'm like, views? I know I have 1 monthly listener. What views? I mean, the plays, it's like 1,000, but I checked. I was that lady who went in.
Shout out to him, and shout out to him for plugging with it. You know, there's people that are genuine out here, you know, they will support you. Even when they give you advice, be like, yo, why don't you fix your light? It comes from a good place.
Exactly.
Mara, only the professional haters. People are born to be haters. Like, and if you could ask those people, what have you achieved? $1.
My guy, there's this guy, I don't know who's this guy. He's on Twitter as well. He's commenting on anything positive. He's commenting crap. And this person, when he check, he doesn't have a profile like avatar and Illuminati type of thing. And then he always, on his own post, he's a very sad person. You see, this person is not happy with himself.
Some people are just sad human beings.
He's got nothing
they
to
will try to project those, like they will make sure everybody else is sad because they are sad. They're broken. So you always filter those, ignore those, focus on the positive, you know.
So, and talking about the positives, what are probably, let me say, the highlights and the good side of you having to do this podcast? And before you answer that, I mean, you are out there interviewing all these people all by yourself, isn't it?
Yeah.
Doing the work all by yourself. There's no one behind the scenes.
At this point, no, because my partner he's busy with other things. You know?
Yeah.
So at this point, it's just me. Like I'm the Jomoson of my podcast. You know, if I put it that way. You know?
Yeah.
I'm the director, the script writer, I'm the videographer. I'm literally doing everything. The one goes and fetch water, you know, So
We didn't even offer you water the way here.
no.
Here it's bad.
Don't worry, pulani ya no tsatso ka mondla.
Because I also realize that if I'm gonna be like, I don't have anybody else, and let me wait for somebody to come through, I'll wait forever. So what continue. So what was the question?
The question was, what is the good side of it? Like the highlight side of it?
The good side is that I get to learn about other things, like editing. Those were things that I never thought I would do in my life. Editing, having to edit, like, taking charge of other things, making sure that the shoot goes well, make sure that my guest is there, the one who's calling the guest, what's up in there, some of them, even though some of them they'll swear at me, those type of vibe. But yeah, I feel like that's my highlight, the positive.
Have you had someone swear at you?
Yeah,
A guest?
Like,
what's happening?
on a call. Well, I once had this one was just trying to like hide the way so he was just being rude on the phone, and I told him like, no, I don't appreciate that, because it was the day of the shoot. I'm like, if you feel like you want to turn, you can turn. I don't appreciate that. You can't talk to me like that.
Yeah, I think respect goes a long way.
And mostly I don't wanna spark anything, but mostly get the artist.
Artists.
Yay.
Lalas.
Let me put it
That's
this
why
way.
I don't classify myself a rapper.
Let me put it. When I say artist, I'm just putting everybody in the same thing. Let me just say boom rap. Yeah, boom rapper, they just have this ridiculous demands. I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna come with my manager. I'm gonna come with like a whole lot of people, right? This is what we drink.
Huh?
I'll remember a list of certain things that they drink, or I'll put it on the phone. This is what we drink. This is what I expect to get. But we keep it moving. Now, personally, I just like once I get to that point and I find somebody like that, I keep it moving.
Yeah, because the rappers specifically, most of them, in their minds they made it. If they can perform on a bigger stage or share a
most
stage,
of them are Dululu. Most of them are Dululu.
Wow.
they think they are there, they made it, The pride, I told you about it. The reason I told you on the podcast that I don't want to be classified a rapper, it's because once you mention a rapper, I see the pride that they have. This is me in the building. Me, Lalas is in the building. So until you later you horny no.
Imagine.
So it's just one of those things, And we do. That's how it is,
So
keep it moving.
have you ever had anyone saying something in a podcast that challenges you to want to do things better with your life personally? Not with the podcast, but with your life.
Yeah, well, a couple of them. Then I'm like, shit.
Feel like
I'm not living this.
Yeah.
I need to change. Well, yeah, there are those people who just say things that you've at times I feel like shit.
And what was that? Who was that?
Nah, I don't wanna like, I don't like.
Okay, now let me tell you. Let me ask this again. It's the same question in a different angle, hoping to get a different answer. Have you ever had a guest that you felt like, this one seemed to be too big to be here?
Yeah, that one I did. I had. Yeah.
This one I don't think you mind mentioning.
Okay, those how many should I mention?
2.
Yeah, now I was gonna say.
Okay, I once had Jack Black Gold. Jack is a big deal.
Yeah,
it's a big deal. Just like people that are around the hood. So you don't see how big that guy is.
It's because he doesn't act big. Last two Ubele status Sahai on Facebook, and he was playing Kuma Mushate as Akre available. Yeah, I'm selling it. It's available on Facebook. Yeah, he searched Lalas Kholo and then it appeared. He put it on his picture and then he screenshot. He sent to me. He cancelled. And then he sent the message so that I can go and see what he did. I said, man, I appreciate. He doesn't act like a big celebrity, and that's what. But what made you feel like, he's too big to be here?
No, while we were sitting on shooting, right, when he was talking about his career, I just realized, I'm like, damn, this guy's big, man. Because when he was talking about gigs that he will get, he'll move on with gigs. that was a huge gig, man. Just imagine, him
Bruh,
getting such a platform.
Yeah.
The estate.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
But
man,
you only saw those.
And there's a whole lot that he did with theater. There was just so while we're busy on shooting, that's when I realized, I'm like, shit.
That guy is big because you know what I used to do? I'll get bored during the day and just scroll through DSTV. Boom, this drama, this guy's there.
I don't think you're gonna throughout the day. Because fit about 4 shows or something to show that he's big.
The next thing to check out, there's this film Neinalebu Dumisani. You remember Dumisani from Generation? His real name is also Dumisani because he's following me on Twitter.
Is it?
Yeah. So, and I'm like, that guy is a big actor, Joe. And I see him go moving more like Jack is there. Not as a supporting character, he's a character in that movie.
Because even the estate, Okashero, more like a veteran. You just find somebody who's mafundani there on the show. It's people that have been in the industry for a very long time. Him to be there at something huge,
Guys, and I talk about the guy every day, like his people don't support.
Just that I have people that are big, man. And people are big. Also, even Hitman.
Yeah. That's a big hustler, eh?
Hitman is Hitman CEO.
Yeah. That guy's a big hustler.
And I also had
everywhere.
I had your producer also. Lena is big.
Who's that?
I would give you. Yeah, he's also big, man. Because when you check
He
Medical
produced
High,
TLT.
Is it?
Yeah.
Medical
He's even there. His song is featured on track number 1
on their album.
On their new album. He's also
and also I had BK. You know BK?
Yeah, BK. He's platinum.
BK now is huge.
Who's that?
He has a song with Soul Matrix and Citrin. What's the name of that song?
Even Atando. Yeah, the Amapiano version of Atando.
Yeah, he did that song.
He's there.
I think out of Kasi now
he has a song with Miss Prue. You know Miss Prue from Ambitious.
Oh, I've watched I've watched the episode. Now I remember.
Yeah.
And the people that I mentioned, they're so humble, man. Like, they don't come there with demands. They're so humble. Even other people that most of the people that come to our podcast, they don't really have the demands. There's people that are humble and they just they. So yeah.
I think this Lalas, you had to snag yourself in there.
I want to cancel all this.
Yes. I think with Sam, with the picture that he has painted, he's one of those people. We either work together or we don't.
We don't.
Like, there's no in between. We either can work or we can't. Like, have you ever felt like there was probably maybe from the episodes that you've already uploaded on your YouTube? Do you ever feel like there was one guest or maybe 2 or maybe more than that you had to tolerate in a way? Because I know this guy is like, are we gonna work or we not?
Well, to be honest, there was one that I felt like I had to tolerate him. First thing, he was late. The second thing, he was high.
Yes, sir.
So those were just things that I felt like, because I.
Mrep.
Yeah, it's always because my thing is that.
Wouldn't you love to have MT on your show? You talk about being high.
Yeah.
My. To be honest,
I'm a big fan of him, but
unless if he comes sober, because my thing is that I feel like at this point I owe people quality content. I just don't want to upload because he's here, but I feel like I'm responsible for to be giving Patoba Sheva. They take their time first of all. Their data,
that's money.
To sit down and then watch those episodes. So my thing, I want to give them quality content. I don't want to just bring somebody who I know could come last minute anything. When somebody's gonna actually be there and say something that makes sense.
You know what impressed me is that when I asked the question, have you ever had anyone, a guest that you felt like they were too big to be there? And I thought he would mention a guest from Santin, from Soweto, those. And he mentioned everyone from Diepsloot. And what does it say to you, D? That he mentioned all of them. Hitman is from Diepsloot, BK is from Diepsloot, Jack is from Diepsloot. What does it say? And we've been having guests And we've been asking them what they think of the talent of Diepsloot.
What do they say?
There are those who say there's a talent and there's no this, there's no this. No,
Okay.
they don't mention names. Most
Not
of them.
really, yeah.
They didn't mention, you know what they need. And I'm happy you are the person who didn't want to mention any name.
You're
But
the
then-
first person. We've been having
And you
people here
mentioned-
who want to mention names.
Hey, the people said I stole this at this shop at this address.
So
Yeah, what's up, Mapoisa la Kukasi and come.
this is why we are here on the Gasi Uncover. But also, I think with where we at right here in Diepsloot, I mean, we mention a lot of I think you're gonna hear Diepsloot a whole lot in this show
Yeah,
because
for real.
the one of the main reason why we are here where we are with this podcast is there's a lot of things that we see out there about Diepsloot, right? And that is like positive things. If you can just try search Diepsloot, you're gonna hear a whole lot of things. You
And
understand?
there's a whole lot of dope stories from Diepsloot.
Exactly. And those dope stories don't get to make it out there. You understand? They just surface right here on our eyes and not on other people's eyes. And also, let's be honest, this affects us when we go outside of Diepsloot. You know, when you start mentioning that I'm from Diepsloot, exactly, like go ba le di-adjustments the phone you di bewa ka tsela e nngwe, like they start.
Or they give this weird compliment. I don't know if it's a compliment or but I feel like it's an insult.
Yeah.
You don't look like you're from Diepsloot. I feel like that's an insult. You know?
I get that a lot, and like it's not cool.
It rubs me in a very funny way. You know when a person says that, man, I've just become like, dude, you can't say such. That's not a
Exactly.
compliment.
And you know, funny enough, like this one time I was at work, we're having lunch like outside. I mean, you see flies like they're everywhere. I mean, especially where there's like food or drinks or anything that's sweet or has salt, you'll see flies everywhere. So this one time we're out, we're having, I remember even what we were having that day. It was just a few of us. We're having wings, like those sticky wings and some salad. So as we were eating, there were flies. And one of my colleagues said, this one comes from Diepsloot. You know, I didn't laugh.
What the hell?
Like, I didn't laugh. It wasn't funny for me. And I'm just like, cause I didn't say anything throughout the whole afternoon after. And like, I was just like, how? What do you mean? Like, like,
I got in a taxi.
bruh.
The taxi driver, taxi. I think, was I coming from Krugerstop or where? But it's not, it's the recent trip, I mean. And that person was like, the Q Marshal or taxi driver, I don't know. Now, I see any Diepsloot, Emagundani. I was like, I thought when they say Magundani, usually they talk about islands.
Alex, yeah,
Today,
that's what I know.
Magundana forget Diepsloot.
Yeah.
Nazi says, Magundana.
Imagine.
Which is really. You said there's a question you wanted to ask about what was it? About what
You know, with
clothing
Dallas, I
brand, what-
always.
What is
Oh no. We're still. Oh yeah. Oh, thanks for reminding me. But before we get into it, I would like you. Did you ever maybe be in a position where being from Diepsloot has affected you in a way outside of Diepsloot? What happened?
It does sometimes, you know. The moment you mention Diepsloot, they start thinking Karoto Akori Placing, or when they start treating you like somebody's from the farms, you know. Like you're from a place a remote place, like you're from far off. It's like, you know, those places.
God, you've hidden guns and knives.
Weapons, you know, you might steal something here.
Oh, you're not gonna, yeah.
Yeah. And also my question, the one that you reminded me, and thanks for that, was have you ever had maybe any of the brands around here wanting to come and do some advertising in your podcast? And if they did,
Nah.
You have an elephant memory. I'm impressed.
Nah, they never. And that's one thing that I always that time I remember asking this other one, that dude, you're busy posting things down Facebook saying that we don't support your businesses. Have you ever approached me to advertise for your brand? No, I've never thought that far. Because here's the thing, a lot of local people who own brands around the hood, they're always crying about, hey, Kasi is not supporting, Kasi is not doing blah blah blah. But here's a platform. And I've never said I'll charge anybody anything because I know them. Some most of them, they don't have money. But here's a platform. They could just come here or say, can I put a bottle of juice here so that when you shoot, I want every problem with that. and then there is building, you know. But to answer your question, there is nobody.
Have you maybe tried approaching even the shops, like anything? Maybe the shops I'm talking in terms of the I don't want to mention like.
When you say shops, you are the big retailers.
Yeah, the big retailers.
Those ones, yeah, they will direct you to a certain individual. Then you have to email, and that individual, if he doesn't know you, you're not getting anything.
The moment they start mentioning emails,
we once spoke about it, right?
I remember actually with this other dude, he was also telling me about it. He's like, no, I know the way to go about it. I'm like, how do you do it? He's like, okay, you approach them, but if the moment they mention emails, you know that that deal is crappy. Because each and every retailer has the side where they deal with such things. Well, I did approach it's a big alcohol brand. Well, unfortunately, they don't sponsor a podcast.
Oh, but they got back to you.
Yeah, they did get
feedback
back to me.
matters
Yeah, like
sometimes.
it was a feedback, which is at the time, if I had that sponsor, I was gone. Gone. You know, and they did, like, okay, the guy got back to me and he checked, or he was telling me that, okay, that unfortunately we don't sponsor podcasts. We do collaborations with we only, with radio, we just go there, we do collaboration, we don't sponsor. Oh. And shout out to you, dude, man. Yeah. Shout out for him to plug him in, man.
There's something, man, I want the both of you to see. Have you noticed, as much as you want to support someone from local, either an artist doing music, a podcast, whatever, anything that is new.
Yeah.
Even myself as an artist, we're not really consistent in that. Like I would post you maybe 2 days, 3 days, and the fourth day it's not like I don't want to post. It's just that I'm moved on. What can do that I lose that track of consistency in terms of putting stuff out there? You know, I post them because my manager be like coming to my WhatsApp. Yeah, I'm very emotional and disappointed. We've posted on our Facebook page. None of you, and you're part of the business, you're not sharing. And then I go and share because my manager reminds me it's part of my job. But with friends, we want to share music from all these local artists. And Lebona, they don't just share now and then. Or maybe sharing now and then has negative impact.
To answer that, right? Let me talk about artists.
Yeah, it's very tricky.
With artists, it's a little bit tricky. But also, we want to share Meroko, but probably why? Actually, it's Asia one, but yeah, there's a couple of problems. The first one is that it's like they're spamming your WhatsApp, spamming your whatever, right? You end up being and also, the other thing is that you find that Meroko Sheruang, it's not a quality work. Yes, let's just be honest. Sometimes we need to be honest, you know.
Yeah.
That I can't share shit because, dude, it's not proper.
Have you noticed? You know what I get a lot. Most people who say I want a feature with you, once a person say Lalas, I want a feature, usually I know what this person can do music. Someone would want a feature, they don't have a song of their own. They think they would start off a career by being on my song. Some people say they want a feature, the music is, they don't know how to push. So some, you give them a feature, you offer him, and they'll be like, no, cool, I'll just do a chorus on your song, or I'll do a bridge or a one verse. They expect you to be the one pushing the song, and they'll be like, because we're not on a connection. But it's his song, and he's the one who...
That's just another problem with the artist. And also, okay, I talk about, okay, also the people, business owners, guys, the ones that I have interact with, and I've realized something, man. There are those who are like legit wanting to push the brands. They push them. They know I don't know where they get this idea. Even the artists, they get this thing. Yahore, it's me. People will see it and people will buy it. And it doesn't work that way. You know, you're gonna post your brand, but you're not putting prices. So you want me to go and interrogate you on your DMs? Nah. How much? Like, you know, I think those are some of the things that we need. And also that the one thing that I have a problem with, this goes every brand, especially black-owned brand, poverty porn, like it doesn't sell anymore. People wanna keep on telling us soapy stories. Yeah, I was sleeping in the bridge 10 years, I didn't eat, so you guys need to buy my energy drink because I was sleeping in the bridge. Like, is the energy drink the quality? What's the quality? Like, because you find that Mutate would accept quantity, but don't say a soapy story about, hey, like, that's just something that I feel like, you know what, the moment you start doing that, I'm like, I'm not buying. Because I want to buy a brand because of the quality of the brand, not because of when you were not, like, those type of things.
I think the problem is we've normalized glorifying poverty.
Yeah, that's true. We do.
Like, if you are coming from the dust streets then, and now you've made it, like, I understand, yes, it's a big deal. I mean, looking at our system, because like how the system is designed, you are bound to fail, because out there the chances of you making it are slim than you having to fail, right? And it's good for someone to having to acknowledge themselves and be like, oh my goodness, I made it, even if it was hard and whatnot. But there has to be a limit to an extent as to okay, now I can, like, you know, I can stop having to glorify this thing. But to an extent, like, it has to serve a purpose. Why are you telling me? Why are you telling me that you work like
has
that?
to serve a purpose, but a lot of people just feel like once they give you that emotional blackmail, it sells, you know, those type of things, and forgetting to focus on doing quality products. They focus on those stories, those soapy stories, emotional blackmail. Hey, what are you producing that we need to support? As I'm like, because I also personally, I wouldn't want to be like, yo, you guys need to support me. Hey, I'm doing this podcast for you. No. People support when they feel like they align with whatever I'm doing, they like it, they should support, but not force them like, it's a must because it's a must. No, the hood doesn't owe me anything.
Exactly.
And the world also doesn't owe me anything. So for those who support, it's fine. They support, even if I could have like 2 views on an episode, I don't really have a problem as long as I reach 2 souls that actually watch. That's my thing.
You have your own purpose,
and I can't be mad at people for not watching. That one, personally, I wouldn't be mad because
you know, Rashid K, I think you know the guy. He said that back then we used to write things in our diary and would get mad if somebody read it. Today we write it on Facebook in public, and we get mad if people don't read it. If we don't find likes, we get
it becomes like the world is weird.
Now it's weird, bro. It's weird. Do you know how you see the world is weird? Now, Samuel, go and donate shoes to Diepsloot Primary School, for instance. And then you go with the media cameras. We shoot. Then you post. Then somebody comment. Leave the cameras at home when you do charity work to prove that you are doing it really for the needy. But when 2 people start fighting, the very same person is the one who's starting to film and publish it. So it means they want the media to portray only the bad, and the good should be secret.
We live in a very weird world.
How really,
it's very weird. But my take on the one when you give people things and you have to come the camera, I just find it corny though. Like, I really find it corny. Like, when I'm donating, donated club, the next thing I to picture. I find that corny. Yes, you could do that. You can donate, right? But when it comes to taking pictures, it's really corny, bro. Because not personally, there's things that I do, like there's just I help out here and there, with other things. But I wouldn't wanna film all those things that I'm doing for other people. Because on the other side, we strip at dignity amount. Just imagine now they know you. Lalas Kholo feeling the club. You know how it it's like we're going to a point where we're doing everything for clout, for likes. Because yes, it's okay. You have to go and do those things and take pictures, but I feel like you having to post pictures and be like, I just gave 5,000.
Can I show you something? A couple of things. DJ Shimza does such things of donating stuff to people. he goes with the camera, right, to prove this year we've done this year we've done this year we are growing, and as much as he posts, the more he gets more people to donate for him to give.
The way it's
You understand? Because his pocket might.
No, move on. You watch the episode.
So his pocket might run empty, just like B.I. Pagati was doing on his own. The next thing, not so long, he was saying, "Praying for me, please, I'm broke."
Nah, he was just testing people.
He was just testing people. Yeah, but I'm saying if he have a lot here,
yeah.
But if I run from my pocket, I might run out of things, even though I'm doing it out of good heart. Do you understand?
Okay.
So, but the more they post, some of them, they get more people to donate. I'll show you, even the one here, pet drive.
No, I hear your point.
Yeah.
But let me just correct something before official. I hear your point. They have to post because so that other people could see. My thing is, you need to ask permission first. Sam, can I post you this picture? Not to just randomly
I understand.
Asking for 5,000. Like, I'm busy clapping my hands there. You know, the next thing I'm on the podcast. They're already more 5,000.
Exactly.
You know, because with people like Beer Party, he does ask those people. Last time I checked, somebody was mentioning on Twitter that he asked those people, "Do you want me to post this?" Some they agree, some they don't agree.
Because I heard even someone says, "I'm gonna put you on." Thingy.
Yeah.
Can I shoot you before I want someone to?
Yeah.
Who should delay like just the car?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to shoot you. Can I shoot you?
And the person agreed.
And the person agreed, and I was like,
and even if the person disagreed, not from
But
with us, right? We're not doing anything because of it's a calling. We do it for the blessings. We want to bless other people. We do it for cloud. Like like it's you know, I hate when somebody strip dignity.
No, with kids, I would like to
even churches lately they're doing that. Now you appear on a video, randomly video that you're falling. Like
no matter we know with churches nowadays, but we go there for entertainment. So usually when I see those churches, I'm like, yeah, this one I wanna go. Less stress. I just wanna.
Before we dive into the church thing, because we might end up being too deep in there. I would like us to talk about your podcast thingy, Sam. That since you've started, I mean, it's been how long now?
It's a year. It's actually a year and a couple of months. It started last year August.
Yeah.
It's still a baby. You know?
Yeah, it's still it's still a baby, but not really a baby.
Not really a baby because when I look at the number of guests and the profile of the guests that you had, it looks like you. Now I thought you tell me or I've been running this.
Nah, it's a year.
2018, 2019.
Consistency.
Yeah.
That inspires us. Not Sally new on the blog.
Yeah, but the most important thing is the start. The moment you start,
there's no stopping.
There's no stopping.
So my question was going to be, how do you think your podcast has impacted the circle around you? Well, of course, besides us having to stop to start this and holding some of us accountable, because how do you think it has impacted the people that do watch?
Well, some of the stories they motivate and they get to see, okay, I'm in this kind of situation. This guy was in the very same situation. He managed to also, because of 1, 2, he did 1, 2, 3, he followed. Some of them they do that because I sometimes get like people just text me randomly like, yo, I was watching episode this or so. I wanna do 1, 2, 3. You know, I wanna that person who did 1, 2, 3. So I wanna support whatever that person is doing. How can I contact that person? Then link them up. I feel like most of the people, you talk about the surrounding and the people around me, mostly it impacts them in a positive way. It does impact them in a positive way, and which is something that okay, cool. Because also the episode that I dropped recently, you know, there's somebody who texted me, was like, dude, I didn't know that much about supplements. Simply means I was doing it the wrong way. But the fact that this guy is explaining what to take, what not to take, it now made me realize that all along I was moving backwards.
Yes,
So like it's those things that actually makes me happy. That oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
He watched and he actually loved it and he wanted to learn through.
And some things, we struggle with marketing. Some you don't even need to market. You put it out there, people are already on it. Some things, you never know. As long as you're consistent. Somebody is watching you, first 2-3 episodes, they don't like nothing. But as you keep on doing now, they start liking because now it keeps marketing.
And also that thing, I think why most people, they just keep on watching. Bruh, I bring people that Mutasana Hanun Kavatlis. They're waiting there to see MT there. The next thing I bring somebody who's just an ordinary musician from Diepsloot, somebody from Oliver, somebody from Cosmo, a bodybuilder, somebody who's just doing a random thing, And you seeing new faces, it's refreshing also.
Yeah, but featuring their songs in the beginning of that's dope. Because now it's because their music.
I haven't saw that on feature.
Have you ever had a guest on your show and you were like, hey, that was too much info?
Hey, sometimes when I edit, I filter. Hey, some days you just say.
You're like,
I'm like, people don't want to hear this. They're gonna cancel me. For this, But
yeah.
Well, so far, I think also how I structure my questions. There are certain things I feel like they're not really that important for people to know. When I ask those questions, I don't really want. Mostly, I don't really like when I entertain your Mjolo life. Those are your Mjolo life. I wanna focus on the things that you do that impact the community in a positive way. Yeah, Mjolo, yes, we'll touch here, but those are the things that I don't really want to know. Because I feel like people are not really interested in that. People go through so much. And you want to tell us, people are back for each other.
Did we ask you things that you think people shouldn't know?
Nah.
Because we would ask now.
You just ask me anything.
Yeah, but do you have any other question, Lalas?
No. I believe that Samuel's been amazing. I feel like what
are you sure? You guys are you sure?
No, I'm
Can't do what I
thought maybe you have still have more questions,
And we always have a problem when we're supposed to close. Have you noticed?
100%.
And then it becomes the exact time of the whole podcast, and then it becomes nice one, and then the camera goes off. Did you check? Finally. Okay. Now I would say that I wouldn't. If somebody says, "How do you know Samuel?" So honestly, I just know you as a podcaster. You understand?
That's good.
Yeah, that's I wouldn't. I never had any story about you, Mokasi. Where Samuel, why do they are Timakets got an started for the first time. Even though I shoot, like, oh, what on parachute? You understand? Because one thing that you do, because Lena used to be a beneficiary of that place, and every time I see you, it's when you are coming in with your stuff, your equipment, and you are ready to work. And then somebody comes in, then you are there, you are working after that. I don't see you mixing in a lot of things. Do you even attend events though?
I actually do. Some of them, not all of them. I don't want to lie. I do sometimes attend events, but it depends on event day. Because if it's hip-hop sessions, I'll just go there, chill my 30 minutes and check and listen to the music and leave, But I do attend the event.
You're not a party animal, you are a guest at parties. It's very important.
I mean, you, I think in closing. Well, I was coming.
I hope you are not eating good.
Wow.
Wow. Samuel, no, right?
Because my interest is also, I mean, you having to live your life here and not having to live it the way we see our peers living. I mean, in terms of the substance abuse, and which is weird. Just yesterday, I took a walk. So I'm like, let me just go for a walk and just refresh my mind. I bumped into this guy. He had like 6-pack of alcohol, and he said to me, no, I'm Minasi's sister and his niggas luchwala, because also what else can I do? You understand? Like I just leave for alcohol. I mean, you could have easily chosen the life of the street. And I think me in this duration of knowing Samuel, I've never had not even a glimpse, as you are saying, probably there was a point in your life where you had given yourself to the streets. How do you think you were able to be one of the most fortunate let me say guys, because yes, it happens to ladies, but it's like minimize that side.
Exactly.
How do you think you were able to overcome that and not nigela yourself into the life of the streets and live the way you are living?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question. I would say that mostly it's firstly the family structure. You know, how I was raised. You know, it played a usual. You know, in me not or like give myself to substances, drugs, and all that. And the other thing, knowing what you want. You know, I'm not saying that I really okay, I know what I want, but not like in time. But I know what I want. I think those are some of the things, you know, that actually. And even the company that you keep also
For
is very
real,
important.
right.
Also, you can't just be friends with everybody. You know, everybody when they see you on the street, they're like, my nigga, you know. You know, the company that you keep also. Leon, it played for me. It played a huge role in my life, you know. So that's why when I didn't come in high as a kite, you know, you know that, and also like it plays a huge role. Yeah, it does. Because at the end of the day, you need to believe in something, you know.
For real.
Yeah, you need to believe in something.
Yeah.
Is that something keeping you in check? Is that something making you to have peace or that's some of the things that I feel like, for me personally,
For real.
they played a huge role.
Yeah, if you don't know where you stand, you are everywhere.
It's like a peer pressure. So I think that's because let's guys, it's hectic, man. Because if you could check the peers, the people that we grew up with, man, you know, they're doing a whole lot of things. Then you ask yourself, like, what's happening?
High school, actually, if in primary, you know, I can see one at grade 5 for guy, and not that I write them off, but you look at the things they are the admirang, they are the valuang, these kids from primary grade 5, and they would say they were expelled in a year. They were expelled 5 times. And these boys, they would say, and I'm asking them, boys, don't you want to change? I asked them one by one. First one, don't you want better friends than these ones? Than these ones. That one is like, yeah, I want better friends. I asked the second one, don't you want better friends? And he said to me, no, they are sharper, they are protected. Rina direla hore a re yo attack sekolo se sengwe o mongwe ba metha ko a betha ko motho tswa ko sekolong se sengwe re ye kaofela re le team re fihle re motik re met. And I'm like, and they think that's what being a school kid should do.
That's crazy. But also that thing, the importance of parenting. The parenting style, it's just that are do say that's the elephant in the room. We can blame our as much as we can, but sometimes the parenting is very important.
No, most kids
I can't be drinking, smoking, and so what do you expect from he's gonna smoke.
But also, it's, I mean, yes, I get what you guys are saying, that the parenting style also counts. But there are kids whereby they grow up seeing their parents doing that, and they were like, you know what, I know this is wrong. I'm not gonna grow up and be like my father.
Well, there are those kids, which is true, that even growing up kokasi, you can just be like, I don't wanna be like this fraud money.
Exactly.
I think those are some of the things you'll tell, like, I don't wanna be like this fraud money. Choose a different direction in my life. Okay, sharp, they rather call me, whatever, because you know they will call you.
They definitely do. They definitely do. And also, I think knowing what you want, knowing what you don't want is as important as knowing what you want.
Yeah,
and
true.
the reason why I'm saying this is I was just advising my younger sibling who's doing grade 10 next year. He's in grade 9 now, and he was asking me which subject should I take for next year, your science, your history, your whatnot. And I asked him, what is it that you don't want? You understand? And he's like, nah, not really sure, I don't know. And I told him myself, when I chose my subject in grade 10, I knew that I didn't want anything to do with medicine. I knew that I didn't want anything to do with nurse. I knew that I didn't want anything that's gonna bring me in your engineering. Like, I knew I didn't want to be out in the sun working. Like, I knew that this is what I don't want. And out of what I knew that I didn't want, I knew going and doing sciences and physical science, it was going to be useless on my end. Even life science, I don't want to study someone's body. What am I going to do with that? Give me the zeros. I want to learn about the zeros. You understand? And that's how I actually knew, okay, since I don't want this, okay, this is out of the picture. Now I have 2 options. This is what I can go for. So that's just how it is.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And I feel like we had an amazing guest.
Yeah, we did.
In closing, you guys are done with questions. Expecting a lot of questions here.
The podcast. You see what happens when you interview a podcast?
So now, an hour or even 3 hours.
In closing, Sam, this is the question that we ask each and every guest on our show. That hypothetically speaking, the world stops and they're listening to Sam right now. What will you tell them about Diepsloot?
About Diepsloot?
Yes. Or you can say tell them about the township.
The good and the bad.
Or the good.
The good and the bad.
Actually, I'll tell them to actually look for the good. There's more good things that are happening than bad things in Diepsloot. Yes, each and every place, there's always a bad on the side. But I'll tell them that they just need to explore Diepsloot and get to experience the beauty of Diepsloot. Because we have so much going on that's so good in Diepsloot. Yes, there's crime everywhere else, so there's crime in the world. In Germany, there's crime. In US, there's crime. So I would say they focus more on the positive things and get to see the talent that is in Diepsloot.
This is you. Now let's go for it.
I believe that people out there, please do consider investing in Diepsloot economy.
Yeah.
We do need people who can restructurize the economy of Diepsloot. Invest, don't be afraid. Don't worry about the crime. Just make sure your business has insurance.
Well, thank you so much for coming through, Sam. Thank you so much for making time for us, and we really appreciate it, man. And that is that from Lee, MySunflower, Lalas Kholo, Samuel. What do we say?